Today we're going to be moving into the data portion of measurement and data. And so specifically, we'll be looking at line plots. So, there's lots of different ways that we can interpret and use data. There's also lots of different ways that we can present data. For example, here we have a pie chart or a circle graph. There's bar graphs that you're probably more familiar with seeing all the time. There's also line graphs. Probably seen a lot of these lately with the pandemic going around. I'm talking about flattening the curve. They're always showing that data on line graphs. And then today we're going to take a closer look at line plots. Okay, so we're going to learn how to construct a line plot and then how to read the information in a line plot. So first off, how do we make one? Okay, so first you need data, and I've provided you some here. So these numbers here represent the numbers of kittens that were born in litters at an animal shelter. So that means one mama cat had 4 kittens in her litter, another one had 7, and then 5, and so on. All right, so here we have our data, and there's a couple different things you can do with it. You could just leave it as it is, or if you want to, you can organize it. You could put the numbers in order. So for example, here's 3, and that's the only 3 I see, so I can just put 3. And then I have a 4 here, and another 4 here. And then I have no more 4s. Okay, and then I have a 5. And another 5. And what you actually can do, which I do sometimes recommend, is if you're going to rewrite it, if you want to cross out the number after you've rewritten it, just to kind of keep track, make sure you've gotten them all. 5, 5, and then there's 2 more 5s. So 5 here and 5 here. Okay. Now 6s. Okay, there are 2. And cross those out. And then I have 2 7s and 1 8. So 7, 7, and 8. All right, so like I said, you don't have to do this, but some people might help them better to see it written out like this. So I've rewritten my data in numerical order grouped together. Okay, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 data points originally, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I double checked my work. I did copy everything over. All right, so I still have it in that original, setup, but now we're actually going to take that information and put it on our line plot. So next we're going to construct our line plot. Always, it's important to have a label. So here's my label, kittens born at the animal shelter. And the numbers of kittens that were born, okay, we're going to put that on the line plot. And so this is the number of kittens per litter, okay? And when we set it up this way, kind of helps us see, this was our lowest number, this was our highest number. So that helps us with setting up our line plot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just happen to have 8 spaces here. Okay, so I can go ahead and I'm going to label, oops, I was thinking ahead of myself and I was going to put an 8. Sorry. All right, so let's go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and label these in order. And so what this represents is, this is the number of kittens that were born in a litter. So, you can have just a litter of 1 kitten. I've seen it happen before. Usually there's a few, there's usually several kittens born. So we're going to use this data up here and we're going to convert it into a line plot. So everything's set up. I have my lines, I have my amounts, okay, labeled on the line, got my title. All right, so now's the fun part. You go through, and typically in a line plot, you use either a dot or an X to mark your data point. So I have 1 here, but I don't have any litters that just had 1 kitten born, so I actually don't have to plot any data there. Same thing with 2. I don't have a number 2 up here. You don't cross these out or anything like that. You just leave them there because it actually helps you to see that, okay, there were no litters with 1 or 2 kittens born. However, I did have a 3. So I'm going to plot that data point, and I like to do the X's. And I actually like to do the same thing like before. So once I plot my data point, I like to cross it off. It just helps me keep track, and I know, okay, that's already been, been recorded on my line plot. And next we have 4. So I did have a couple of those. So 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 X's there. Cross those off. I think I'm good. 5. I had quite a bit. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 5s. 4 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cross all those out. All right. And now 6s. There's 2. All right. 2 7s. 1, 2. And finally, just 1 8. All right. So all my data's been plotted. All right. And just to double check, remember we had 12 data points. That just means the numbers. So let me count my X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that tells me, just looking at the data plot, that there were 12 different litters of kittens born. And I can interpret this by, understanding that none of the litters had 1 or 2 kittens. I'm gonna, kind of maybe take a guess at most of the time, 8's kind of a out there number, that not too many litters have 8 and not too many have 3. 5 seems to be pretty common. So, another thing we can call line plots is a frequency chart. And, frequency refers to how often something happens. And so this form of data, this way of having the data laid out really lets us see how often something occurs. So like, for example, you could see that, 5 kitten litters were born most often, happen more frequently, as opposed to 3 kittens or 8 kittens per litter. So that's actually it for today. Just learning how to actually take information and put it in a line plot, and just understanding, the basics of what everything means. So your activity for today is going to be to complete IXL lesson J, I think it's 7. Hold on, let me check real fast. Yep, it's J7 in IXL, and that's just going to have you practice with taking the numbers and putting it into a line plot. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to work with line plots again, but how we can actually use them to help us answer a little bit, higher level questions. So have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.